What is up, guys? Welcome to another video. Today I'm doing something different. I'm not gonna make a beat, but I'm gonna mix a beat from one of my subscribers. The producer is Slim Beats, and I'm gonna show you my mixing process, my mixing thoughts. I hope you get something out of this. I'm gonna try to mix with stock plugins as much as possible. I'm gonna give you alternatives for paid plugins, but the majority of the mix is with stock Logic Pro plugins. So first, let's hear a bit what's going on, what the beat sounds like, and then we're gonna start mixing. So the first thing I'm gonna do is name correctly all the channels and color code them. All right, now I have done all of these. The next thing I'm gonna do is to gain stage all the channels, and I'm gonna show you how I do it. In Logic Pro, we have the gain here, and I'm gonna solo the kick. I'm gonna play the beat. It's in an okay level, but I'm gonna lower it around 2 dB, 2.5 dB. So I'm gonna have a good starting point. Also, I'm gonna check if any of the sounds is in mono. And I'm compare the stereo sound with the mono. If it's the same, I'm gonna leave it in mono. I'm gonna do it for all of them, and then we're gonna start mixing. All right, so I'm gonna mute all the channels now, and I'm gonna start with a kick. My mixing method is to start with the kick and the bass, build the drums around them, mix the drums as I like, and then bring the rest of the instruments in the beat and mix them around the drums. And that's my mixing process. I mix around the drums and not around the instruments. I'm gonna start with the most busiest part of the beat, and I'm gonna do my first balance. To balance the kick and the bass, I'm gonna use a VU meter, and this is an old trick. So I want the kick to hit at -3, and when the bass, both of them, when they hit together, they're gonna hit around 0. So let's do that. That's okay. I'm gonna EQ the same time the kick, because that matters what the levels I get. It's a bit muddy. Let's boost some lows. And also, with a tight Q, I like to find a good frequency to boost. Around there. I'm gonna cut any unnecessary frequencies, and now we have a whole different level. So let's back the gain off. All right, hit around -3. I'm gonna set, I have 2 bass here. I'm gonna start with the sub, which it's gonna give us the low end, and I'm gonna high pass around 39 Hertz. All right. Even when I hit 0, the bass is too loud, so I'm gonna go back 2 or 3 dB, and that's fine. This is just to have a good idea where are you at if you don't have any good speakers to reference low end, or a good pair of headphones that go that low. What I'm gonna do, gonna see which frequency I boost before, and it's 69 Hertz, and I'm gonna cut it from the bass. So tidy Q, 69, and cut. And that's gonna give us a bit of headroom between kick and bass. Then I'm gonna add the second bass, but I'm gonna cut all the subs since I have another channel that it's only for sub. I'm gonna boost some 200s. I like these frequencies in the bass. They bring up something very unique. And yeah, we are good now to bring up the rest of the drums. I'm not gonna touch the hi-hats. I don't need to EQ or mix all the sounds. If the sound sounds good to me, I'm gonna leave it as it is. Okay, let's EQ that snare. Around 2K is a frequency that makes the snare pop, and I'm gonna push that one. I think that's good. Let's move to the drum fill. All right, I need some high frequencies on that drum fill. I'm gonna cut the lows. Alright, that's good, I think. There is a riser here as well. Alright, as you can see, I didn't pan anything, and that's because Slim Beats already panned his hi-hats, so I don't need to do anything about that. The kick and the snare, I want them in the middle, so we are good with the drums. We're gonna move now to the instruments, create the balance there as well, and then we're gonna do some bass mixing and add some effects. And I want to EQ these two pianos to make them work together as good as possible. So I'm gonna cut some very lows of the piano because these frequencies are affecting the bass and the kick. And I'm gonna boost some highs. There is not a lot of high highs frequencies, so I'm gonna play around 2K. And I want to clean up this low piano. And I'm thinking about the effects now, and I think I'm gonna go with reverb on the low keys and delays on the high keys to make some good ambience to the track, but that's later after I do all my balance. Alright, not that bad. I don't need to EQ that much with the sounds I provided with, and that's good. If the source is good, the mix can be top. So the next thing I want to do now is to add the instrument to basses and start doing some work there. So I'm gonna get all my drums, move them to the bass, all my basses to another bass, and all my instruments. I'm gonna do a linear EQ now. I use linear EQ when I use basses, and another alternative for the stock EQ of Logic is Pro Q3, which is amazing, and I use it all the time. Let's go and do some overall EQ to the drums. And I'm gonna compress it just a bit. With Logic Pro stock compressor, is that you have all these compressing flavors to choose from. I'm gonna go with this one. another thing I like to do, and I don't have any free alternative for this one, is the decapitator. I don't think any other stock plugin or free plugin can emulate the sound of the decapitator. And what I do, I use the punish setting and I blend this signal with the dry one. Dope. The last plugin I'm gonna use is a limiter, and I'm gonna use the stock one, but usually I use the FabFilter Pro L2. But for now I'm gonna do it with this one. I gave some volume to the drums without peaking too much, and it's gonna help me to the overall loudness at the end. Let's move to the bass. I cued the bass, so I'm gonna compress it a bit now. And I should use some sidechain as well. I'm gonna send the kick to a bass that I'm not gonna use as a pre-fader all the way to 0 and mute this one. Add as a sidechain the bass that I just created. I'm gonna compress all the instruments, so I'm gonna glue them together a bit, and then I'm gonna start adding my effects. So I'm gonna send the low piano to a bass and the high to another bass. Let's go with the stock reverb of Logic. Let's go with the reflective call. Let's EQ it. I'm gonna EQ the reverb signal, not the piano signal. And let's compress the reverb as well. Cool, and let's add a delay to the high piano. I want something simple like... let's do that one. And a cool trick is to automate this delay and bring it on with the drums and leave it dry for the beginning. The last effects I want to add is in the vocals, and this time I'm gonna do it as an insert because I want these wet vocals. By the way, this is a free plugin, so I noticed that these vocals are so dynamic. So before I add the reverb, I'm gonna compress the vocals. And it's a delay as well. I'm gonna go with the same stock delay. Let's do some simple pan. Let's go there. And what I like to do is to add a little of reverb after the delay in the bass, in the FX bass, just a bit. Dope. So the last thing I'm gonna do is to glue all the things together in the mix bus, add the limiter to get the overall level, and that's all. I like to not touch the stereo output. What I like to do is to send all my basses to another bass, and I have the track I need to send to that as well. And I'm gonna start with a linear phase EQ again, and I'm gonna do a bit of control and the smiley face EQ. So I'm gonna add the low pass around there, the high pass at 39 Hertz, and usually I cut some 500s, and then I'm gonna do the smiley cue. So I did another cut around 2K, and that's because this beat is going to be used by rappers and they need some room to add their vocals. So let's compress the whole thing now, and for my mix pass I do like 1 to max 3 dB of gain reduction. So last thing is the limiter for the overall level. Usually I use the Pro L limiter, and sometimes I use 2 limiters if I can't get the loudness where it needs to be. So I'm gonna add the output level at -1, and I'm gonna start going up with the gain. Dope. Let's compare before. after. Alright, so as you can see, it's all about the balance and it's all about good EQ moves. So if you got this, you are good to go and you're gonna do amazing mixes. The rest, the compression, the distortion, the effects, it's all good things, but if you don't have the balance right and the EQ right, these tools are not gonna help you. So yeah, I hope you like this video. It's something different. It might be a long video, but yeah, it's mixing. I wanted to pay attention to a lot of things to show you guys, and if you want me to keep this video coming, let me know down in the comments and I'm gonna do more and show you more tricks. Okay, see you in the next one. Peace.